on 12 News, shooting for a state title. 3 teams from the Northwest Metro play on the big stage. Plus, a 9-year-old girl's special story. Why having birthday cake is extra sweet. But first, a lesson on human trafficking in Brooklyn Center, told through the eyes of a survivor. 12 News starts right now. Hello and thanks for joining us. Experts say an estimated 11 million people around the world have been victims of human trafficking.
One of those victims was in Brooklyn Center today, educating people on what the federal government hopes to do about the problem. Delane Cleveland joins us now with more. Delane?
Mike and Alex, Bukola Oriola came to Minnesota from Nigeria in 2005 to live with her husband and pursue a career in journalism. Instead, she says she lived in isolation for the next 2 years, enduring emotional abuse and forced labor. Now she's working to help others and avoid the same fate.
When I eventually got help, because I didn't know I could get help, I thought that death was the only way out. And I did attempted suicide. So when I got help, I decided to put my face to my story. And one of the first things I did was to come out to the public like this to speak about my story.
Oriola told her story to a group at Brooklyn United Methodist Church this morning during a meeting on human trafficking. In December, President Obama appointed her to the U.S. Advisory Council on Human Trafficking. The council is tasked with creating recommendations for policies that would help survivors of human trafficking in the U.S. and across the world. Her goal today was to let the public know about the council and to seek their input.
And we are hoping that community members can reach out to us and give us ideas and give us suggestions on what policies are out there or what kind of change they want in the U.S. policies on human trafficking.
The U.S. Advisory Council on Human Trafficking has a report due in May. If you'd like to reach out to Bukola Oriola or learn more about the organization she started to help human trafficking survivors, we have links on our website at 12.tv.
All right, thanks, Delane. It didn't take long for the legislative session to turn from congenial to contentious.
On the opening day of the session Tuesday, the State House welcomed 3 new members, including Peggy Flanagan, who replaced Ryan Winkler in a district that includes Golden Valley and Plymouth. But there were quickly disagreements over limiting public access to the House chamber, which is surrounded by construction due to Capitol renovations.
My advice to you is to find the point of order well taken and to find an appropriate place for this body to meet that the public has access. Mr. Speaker, only certain members of the public have access to this space.
We've worked with staff to make things as seamless as possible, and we made it a priority to have access for members of the public in a very challenging time.
The state Senate, meanwhile, is meeting temporarily in quarters across the street from the Capitol.
The state of the city in Plymouth is strong, but it's also a pivotal time. Mayor Kelly Slava gave the annual State of the City address at Trillium Woods, the city's newest retirement community. She says Plymouth will reach full residential development in less than a decade, starting a new phase for the city. Slavic also pointed to job growth, noting the city has recouped all the jobs lost during the recession and has 2,500 more jobs than in 2008. The city's largest job sector is manufacturing, thanks largely to medical technology companies. But the mayor also wants to attract more independent small businesses, pointing to Wayzata as an example.
I wish that we, and I tell our staff this all the time, I wish that we had more smaller, independent, family-friendly, walkable businesses. We have struggled for years to have kind of more of a downtown Plymouth and create an identity there.
Mayor Slavic also hopes to land a brew pub or distillery in the city. The city changed its ordinances to help make that happen.
A Plymouth group home that's been the subject of dozens of police calls over the past year will stay in its current location for the time being. The group home houses adults with developmental disabilities, but it's been operating without the proper license. The Plymouth City Council could have forced them to move out. Instead, the council directed city staff to look at possible amendments to the city's zoning and rental licensing codes. No word yet on when the council will revisit the issue. 9-year-old Regan Weirman of Dayton has endured a lot for her young age.
She has Crohn's, a digestive disorder that, along with colitis, affects 1.6 million Americans. We first shared her story back in December. Reporter Sonia Goins has an update on how she's doing.
Okay. Taya, help me pick out one you want to do with me.
We met Regan 3 months ago, shortly after she was diagnosed with Crohn's disease.
Let's just rebuild it however we want.
It's hard. It's hard for her.
The inflammatory bowel disease causes very painful stomach cramps, among other things.
Before she was diagnosed, she was a different kid. Her personality had changed, and I think a lot of that has to do with the nutrition that she was lacking.
You take this connector.
Instead of taking medicine to treat Crohn's, her doctor put her on a nutritional therapy plan that required her to not eat any food at all.
It gives her digestive system that time to rest and not be overtaxed.
So for several months, she was fed a nutritional shake through a nasogastric tube.
There are days where she would just sit there and stare at the food, and you could just see, all I want to do is eat.
But Regan was resilient, and she stuck with the plan. Her doctors recently allowed her to slowly start eating food again.
She literally cried when she got to eat for the first time. The first thing she wanted was some apple cider.
This week, she gets to eat 4 days, and next week, it's back to the shakes. This also means she gets to celebrate her 9th birthday, just like any other kid.
This could have been the week that she didn't get to eat.
And celebrate she did.
Happy birthday to you.
Regan had a party with 6 of her close girlfriends. She ate cake and ice cream.
I think I'm probably going to get a brain freeze. My first brain freeze in a while.
And while the party was for Regan, her parents got a gift as well.
I think she's happier than I've seen her in a long time.
And she's thrilled. She's absolutely thrilled.
I can't, but I want to.
Now, Regan is doing much better. Since she's been on the treatment, she's gained 17 pounds and is feeling like her old self. Now, Mike and Alex, Regan missed Thanksgiving dinner, so they're going to celebrate on Saturday.
All right.
Good for her.
Gets to eat cake. Thanks, Sonia.
Thanks, Sonia. Well, coming up, couples and money, why it's not a bad idea to have a date night focused on budgets.
And then later in sports, Wayzata battles Hopkins for a section girls basketball title.
But first, back to the 50s on Thursday, even warmer on Friday.
What has shaped your attitude about money? If you haven't thought about it, maybe you should.
Often men have a far different attitude toward money than women, and it affects how you spend money your entire life. And today, in honor of Women's Money Week, reporter Shannon Slatton takes a look at that topic in Money Savers.
For me, it's really important to help couples plan not just for a day, like their beautiful wedding day, but to plan for their life together.
When Pastor Chris Childs counsels couples before marriage at Maple Grove Lutheran Church, she always touches on the topic of money.
It's a stressful topic. It's complex.
She says how couples feel about money often comes back to the way they were raised.
They each grew up in families where they watched parents and money handled in their household. Money was either talked about or it wasn't.
But she says couples should talk about money before marriage and after, keeping the dialogue open and honest.
Every marriage you've got different strengths to work with and growth areas too. So it's with money, it's so important to figure those out and then use your strengths.
If you're married, it's just imperative that you sit down and have a money date and have a conversation with your spouse. And really, I always talk about the what ifs. You know, what if I were to pass away? What if I were to lose my job? And you answer those questions as well as your significant other answers those questions.
Nicole Middendorf has written 2 books for women on money. She advocates women should stay involved with their financial future.
You really got to look at, okay, where am I? Where do I want to be? And really, what's the plan? And what do I need to do? And just take a step every single day to get you there.
What do you have?
This week, you can find more financial advice for women as part of National Women's Money Week.
So much of the financial information that's available is geared and written toward the way that men think, yet women are so central in the family's financial experience.
Carrie Hasha advises using this week to learn more about smart money management.
Whether that's in making a budget or getting out of debt or investing or managing an asset portfolio, wherever they're at in the spectrum, that they're getting access to the information they need to make the wisest choices for their unique situation.
For Money Savers, Shannon Slatton, 12 News.
Well, if you need help getting started on that money date, Thrivent Financial has a money attitude quiz that you can download, and we have a link to that on our website. Interesting stuff. Coming up, a Park and Rec director's way of going out on top.
But first, highlights from Osseo and Maple Grove State Tournament boys basketball openers. Jay Wilcox has sports up next.
It's a very big deal. Yeah, it's exciting.
Spirits were high Wednesday morning at Maple Grove High School. Students loaded buses bound for the Target Center to watch the Crimson boys basketball team take on Lakeville North. The Panthers ended up beating Maple Grove to advance to the semifinal, but the Crimson's hard work this season didn't go unnoticed.
I see student athletes here in the morning before I get here practicing, shooting free throws, practicing, doing all of their classwork. On top of that is quite a feat.
And Jay, tough day for Maple Grove, but Lakeville North's going to have to get past the Osseo Orioles.
Yeah.
Big win for Osseo today.
Much better day for Osseo than Maple Grove, definitely, in the state tournament. The state high school boys basketball tournament tipped off Wednesday morning, and 3 local teams were in the Class 4A tourney. That includes top seed Osseo. The Orioles start very strong against Eden Prairie. John Bezdacek pops a 3 early on his way to a 21-point game. They go inside to Cameron Betty for the bucket, and the Orioles jump out to a 10-0 lead to begin this game. Marmar Hughes sticks the long jumper from the right side. The Orioles continue to pile up points in the first half. Dante Jones knocks down a 3 from the left side for a 14-point lead. Osseo shines in the first half to lead at 39-24 at the break. The inbounds lob to Allen Anderson stretches the lead to 20 points for Osseo. Eden Prairie doesn't quit, though, and this 3 brings them back within 10 points with 4 minutes remaining. But Osseo keeps scoring too. DeMario Armstrong with the big jam. Osseo wins a high-scoring contest, 85-73. Maple Grove was back at state for the first time since 2011. The number 4 seeded Crimson met number 5 Lakeville North in the quarterfinal round. The Panthers grab an early lead. 6'10" Nathan Reavers gets the putback for a quick 7-0 advantage. Jack Hutchison pops along too as Maple Grove rallies to within 15-13, but it's a slow first half for the Crimson. Nick Fossey scores 10 off the bench in the first half for Lakeville North. They lead at 32-20 at halftime. And they stretch the lead to begin the second. Drew Stewart's 3 makes it 37-20, and the Panthers seem to be in command. Maple Grove charges back, though. Reed Nico shovels the pass to Ryan Bredensteiner for 2, and they're within 7. But Maple Grove never gets over the hump. Reavers scores 19, and Lakeville North eliminates Maple Grove 60-49. Also in the quarterfinals, Hopkins taking on North St. Paul. Hopkins forces a lot of turnovers in the first half. Vinny Shahid with the steal, and he goes all the way in for the layup. Xavier Johnson hits a catch-and-shoot 3-pointer from the corner for a 13-7 Hopkins lead. Ishmael Elamine then with the steal, and the quick outlet pass to Simon Wright, and he'll lay it in for the Royals. And then it's Elamine delivering it for another assist, a sweet bounce pass here to Johnson. He scores 13 in the first half. The Royals roll the victory 74-42. In girls basketball, Hopkins will be back to defend its title in Class 4A next week. Wayzata hoping to upset the Royals in the Section 6 final. Hopkins is tough early. D.D. Winston sinks a 3 from the top of the key for a 9-4 Royals lead. Raina Suggs comes off the bench to hit a couple of big 3s for the Royals, and they go up 14-6. Wayzata gets the offense going off a missed free throw. Annie Robertson gets the putback here, plus a foul. And Sydney Franks comes off the bench firing for Wayzata. She pours in 20 points total. Wayzata's within 7 at halftime. They keep it close for a while, but Hopkins is just too good. Nia Hawley scores 27 for the Royals as they start to pull away. Paige Beckers then on the baseline drive sets up Ashley Bates for 2 plus a foul. Hopkins wins the section title 88-62. In Section 4A, 2 local teams faced off in the semifinals. Top seed Maranatha Christian Academy taking on Heritage Christian Academy. Maranatha on the run here. Kylie Post takes it to the hoop for the layup plus a foul, and it's 15-9. Elena Jarnett attacks in transition too. She gets the layup for a 26-16 Mustangs lead. Their half-court offense is pretty good as well. Post gets the jumper to fall here as Maranatha goes up by 17. Heritage battles back, and watch how the half ends. The long bank by Annika Simonson pulls the Eagles to within 10 at halftime. That's worth a smile there. But Maranatha has too many weapons. Jarnett ahead to Post, and she'll get the layup as Maranatha wins it 85-64. So Maranatha now meets Lester Prairie Holy Trinity in the section final. That's Friday at 5:45 at Anoka Ramsey. In Class 2A, the Providence Academy girls played for a subsection championship. The Lions met Holy Family in the Section 5 East subsection final. Sophie Keppel into Colette McCarthy for a Lions hoop. Clara Counts drives for Providence and steps back and gets the roll on the jump shot, and it's 19-all. In the waning seconds of the first half, Ashley Survey drives and hits off the glass, giving Providence a 23-21 halftime lead. Molly Smith has a big second half for Holy Family, though. She fights for the rebound and gets the putback plus a foul on this play. And Brooke Boland slices through the Lions defense to give Holy Family a 38-31 lead. Smith drives and gets to the basket with a nice fake, and Holy Family wins it, eliminating Providence 49-40. So a couple of girls teams still alive, and obviously the boys playing on for Hopkins and also Osseo.
That's right. Great highlights. Thanks a lot, Jay.
You're welcome.
We'll be right back. They are handcrafted, colorful, and carry an important message about hunger.
Volunteers produced hundreds of ceramic bowls for the 6th annual Empty Bowls event at Cooper High School. Anyone who brought a donation for a food shelf got a bowl and could fill up on a simple meal of soup and bread.
Families can come and talk about hunger, take a bowl home to remember there's hunger in the world, have a soup and bread and milk, coffee dinner, and make any donation to the food shelf that they want to.
They serve more than 1,000 people and hope to raise $20,000. And finally, a man who helped shape Maple Grove is stepping down after nearly 30 years on the job.
That's right. When Terry just started as Parks and Rec Director in 1986, Maple Grove's population was just 30,000. Today it's 66,000. City staff and state leaders turned out for Just's retirement party at Maple Grove's Community Center. The Community Center itself was built while Just was on the job, and the city also went on to add 1,000 acres of parkland. But Just is most proud of Central Park and the skating loop, which just opened last September. It's a project he worked on his whole career, and now that it's a reality, retirement felt right.
When I first came to Maple Grove, we did not have a traffic light in the city, and now there's 80 traffic lights. So it's kind of surreal when you think about that side of it, that there's been so much change.
And that does it for us.
Have a good night.